slide, you know we gon' see the kill. What? That boy deceased for real. Better be cool, you not on that block, you not in the streets for real. My buddy gon' slide, he loaded the 9, you know.
What is going on, people? This is Jonah Pittman, and this is also KO Sports Talk. And welcome back to the Main Event Podcast. Of course, once again, we is talking about the Chicago Bears with the latest news and everything that is going on with them, and also could be possibly talking about everything else that is going on in the NFL. But of course, Kofi will of course reiterate the conversation that we was having previously before we officially jumped on live. Kofi, go ahead and let the people know what you was letting me know about Ryan Pace with the
Okay,
Bears.
so initially, I think it was yesterday, the Bears had a press conference. And one of the things that kind of stood out to me was the Ryan Pace press conference. And Ryan Pace was just kind of reiterating, overall, like with what Matt Nagy was going to do with Justin Fields' development. And like the thing they just kept talking about was like, well, this is about Andy, 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 Andy. And they didn't mention anything about Justin Fields, even though they traded up. They traded up a couple draft picks to get Justin Fields in order to get him. And we already know what type of caliber Justin Fields is. A lot of people were saying that he was one of the most NFL-ready quarterbacks to come out of the draft. But at the same time, Justin Fields, throughout the whole entire preseason and throughout the whole entire training camp, he wasn't even practicing with the ones. He wasn't practicing with Darnell Mooney. He wasn't practicing with Allen Robinson or any of the first team offensive guys. And the thing about it is if they want to develop him the proper way, like I get it if they want to sit him, throughout the season, depending on, if he's able to pick up the plays, because he has to be able to adjust to the NFL game speed, able to adjust to opposing teams' plays. I get that, all that. But at the same time, you also got to help develop your quarterback by allowing him to build connections with the ones, because eventually he's gonna be able to play with these guys. And if he goes into a game, like let's say like if he goes into a game, like even with the Lions or even with a lower tier team or like any NFL team, he's gonna be out of rhythm. He's not gonna look good because he's already playing his first NFL game, wherever NFL team it is, because a lot of teams, even the teams that are not good, they're gonna game plan hard for him. And if he's not ready, he's gonna look bad. And you don't want your quarterback to look bad. You want him to be able to prepare with the ones, and you want to make them look good. So I mean, I don't know what Ryan Pace's whole motto is, you know, or kind of reiterating what Matt Nagy says, but this front office needs to, how should I say it? They need to get their shit together, man.
Absolutely. I about to say I agree with you 100% because not having that time with the number one wide receivers, it can affect everything. At least allow him to get a little bit of a piece of a time with the number one wide receiver or wide receiving grouping because, of course, we all know he always messing with the number twos, number threes, number fours. Like Rodney Adams is on the practice squad and everything else. Not getting that time with Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, uh, Goodson, and the other
Goodwin.
guys on the well, Goodwin. I meant to say sorry about that. Goodwin and other new additions that the Bears have, like Damian Williams as well, Khalil
Hmm.
Herbert. Even though he's worked more with those guys a little bit more, it
Hmm.
it just it helps with those back shoulder throws. But when that time
Hmm.
comes, those certain areas that we most likely see with Aaron Rodgers with Devontae Adams, they always
Hmm.
know
Patrick Mahomes, those types
exactly
of players.
right at any given time when Aaron Rodgers needs to make that throw, he knows where to put it. Devontae Adams knows exactly where to be, and they always make that easy touchdown. that can also
Mhm.
translate with Justin Fields with the number ones if you give him that proper time. So everything you
Mhm.
did say, I wholeheartedly agree with as well. And also talking about Rodney Adams, of course, we both made videos about him being released by the Bears, but of course he did make it back on the practice roster, so that is good. He did show a lot of promise in the preseason. It just I wish he could have
Mhm.
made the 53-man roster because I believe he could have made some type of plays if he would have still if he could have still been active. What do you think about
Mhm.
it, honestly?
Yeah, I mean, initially he was on the 53-man roster, and then they also signed Brashad Perriman. Um, and then after they signed Brashad Perriman, they took him off the 53. Well, they cut him. They took him off the 53-man roster, and then I think after a day or so, they put him back on the practice squad. So I was really disappointed because Rodney Adams, throughout his career, he's been a journeyman wide receiver. I think he had a short stint with the Atlanta Falcons. I think he played with the Carolina Panthers, a couple of those teams. And the guy just literally, he's just been, fighting. Like he's been working his ass off this whole entire offseason. He's been making like a lot of coaches, turning a lot of coaches' heads. He's been putting a lot of work in the offseason. And just to like for Ryan Pace and like Mac Nagy just to cut him, even though he's been doing so well, he's pretty much been the MVP of the whole entire preseason. He's been
Yeah,
Justin Fields' number one target. And the fact that they just like kind of took him off like the 53 man roster was almost kind of like a slap in the face, even to some of us Bears fans because we know what type of plays, that he can make. And you also need depth at the wide receiver position because what if Darnell Mooney goes down? What if Anthony Allen Robinson goes down? Because we already know Allen Robinson has an injury history. And so I think that Rodney Adams, like he'll be a great, placeholder for Allen
either
Robinson,
one of
in
those
case he
guys.
goes down. Yeah, one of those guys goes down.
Yeah, I'm about to say shit. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but
I don't want it to happen.
of course injuries does happen in NFL. If something in case of that was to happen, of course
Mhm.
Rodney Adams wouldn't right away just move right up the depth chart like that. He'll still be behind the depth chart. He'll probably be the number three and number four at best. And
Right,
then if he
especially with
still
COVID-19 too.
right, that too as well. Now that can move him up the depth chart if gas is gone from the COVID list, but let's hope none of that happens. Even
Yeah.
though I would have liked to see him on the 53-man roster. He not a real big guy, but he still has decent speed. He
Right.
displayed good hands and excellent athleticism at 6'1", 189 pounds. You know,
Mhm.
we seen how well he can catch it and also avoid the hit. So it's like if, eventually he's gonna get sick and tired of being signed to the practice squad. If he keep performing like this, somebody is gonna
Mhm.
sign him and he's gonna be on somebody active roster. So hopefully the Bears
Mhm.
can eventually get him on the active roster because if that's not gonna happen, he's gonna move on to somewhere else. And he probably
Exactly.
gonna ball out. He probably gonna show his true potential. I don't think he's gonna be like 1,000-yard receiver every year, but he can be somebody that can get you somewhere between 500 to 700 yards every year. Be that third
Right.
receiver that always do his job. Basically, get somewhere between
Mhm.
50 to 60 catches, 500 to 700 yards a season, 5 to 6
He takes advantage of
touchdowns.
his opportunities.
Right, and make teams pay. So that's something. That's the type of potential I see in him. He only 26 years old, so he still got
Mhm.
plenty of game left in him, and the simple fact that he hasn't taken a lot of hits because, of course, in today's NFL, in today's practices, it's not really a lot of brutal hitting anymore like it was 20 years ago.
Mhm.
So it is. Can't wait to see you fight, Jay. Oh man, yeah, man. I can't wait to fight again. Shit, that's one. Shit, I've been itching. I've been itching for a fight. if it wasn't for COVID-19, man, I ain't no telling what my career would be at in terms of boxing. But I'm gonna get back on
Yeah.
it. Real talk, I'm gonna get right back on that. But basically, back to football. But I don't know, man. It just it seems like things are just going this way,
Mhm.
that way in terms with the Bears. So I don't know. We're gonna see how that turns out. But in other news, of
And
course, the Bears and
Speaking of Rashad
go
Perriman,
ahead.
what did you think about him getting signed? Because the Lions just waived him.
Yeah, I was like, I guess is it because they need an additional kick returner or something like that? Is that what he really being brought in for? Like maybe punt return?
We're not
So
using him. I don't know if they're using him for depth, but we already got a punt returner. We got Nisimba Webster from San Francisco.
right, so it's like, so what is the purpose of him being brought in? Now
I have no idea.
I do know he
I have
was
no idea.
a Buccaneer, and he was Jameis Winston's favorite target at the time when he was a Buccaneer when he had
Right.
that magical 30 for 30 season.
Yeah, he had a breakout season that year.
Right, but other than that, he's been pretty much a non-factor. So it's
Right.
like I guess because he is more of a proven guy over Rodney Adams because he's done it, and he's been there
Hmm.
longer than Rodney
Hmm.
Adams. On the active roster, that's the reason why they signed him, put him on the active roster, and put Rodney Adams on the practice squad. Now, of course, we do know that Rodney Adams can come back due to injury or COVID-19, but all we can see, all we can do is see exactly what is going on. Now, it is officially like 1 week, well, 10 days, 9 days, or whatever, until the first game of the season against the Rams. What is
Man,
so far your prediction based on everything you know about what's going on?
I'm sorry, Bears fans, but I actually had the Bears losing 28-14 this game.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I got the Bears still in this game because of Matt Stafford gonna fuck it up.
I mean, I get it, man. Like,
Let
I
the
know
people
Matt
know.
Stafford. He hasn't been a winner for the Detroit Lions. But I mean, Sean McVay, man, the guy's, man, a genius, man. Like, I know,
Keep going.
like,
I'll be right back.
all right, all right. So basically, guys, as I was saying, like, um, Matthew Stafford, I know he's played for the Detroit Lions franchise, but I mean, if you look throughout history, I mean, Detroit franchise has not had a lot of good coaches, and Matthew Stafford has not had the best coaching staff, throughout his career. I mean, you can go. I mean, one of the best coaches he's had, of course, was Jim Caldwell, but Jim Caldwell, he didn't do that much as a coach. I mean, he went through freaking Bob Quinn, freaking Matt Patricia. I mean, I can name a few coaches, and they were not good at all. So, I mean, now that he's going to a situation where he's going to be playing with Sean McVay, one of the best offensive geniuses in the NFL, and he's going to be having a lot of good weapons. He's going to be having Tyler Higbee. He's going to be having Cooper Cup. He's going to be having, even though what's his name is out, their running back, I forgot his name. He's out. He's still, going to be slinging the ball. And then Sean McVay is going to scheme up some plays to Matthew Stafford's strengths, where he's going to be making a lot of plays. And we already know Matthew Stafford; he has a deadly arm. Like, the guy can throw. Matthew Stafford can sling with the best of them. And so if you give him, if you're able to kind of scheme a game plan for Matthew Stafford, like a lot of bootleg plays or like a lot of slant plays and over the deep passes for Matthew Stafford, because we know, as I said, Matthew Stafford, he has a cannon of an arm, and y'all saw what happened last year when we faced him at Soldier Field. he threw that long deep pass to Quintus Cephas for that touchdown.
Oof.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, Sean McVay, he's going to be scheming up some good game plans for the Bears, especially with this defense. And we know our secondary is like one of our weakest points in on this team. And even though the Rams they don't have too much of a good offensive line, Sean McVay, I mean, he's just too smart. He's gonna be doing like a good enough game plan to kind of keep the Bears defense on their toes, and especially with Sean Desai, his first year, being a defensive coordinator, he's going to be having his growing pains. So I mean, I don't know, man. I had the Bears losing 28-14 because I don't trust Matt Nagy and his offensive play calling. You already saw what happened in preseason when we faced the Bills. Freaking Andy Dalton was pretty much playing the entire first half, and he didn't score not a single point until Rodney Adams made that play, that 7-point play, and that was pretty much it. And that was against
Yeah.
second and third stringers. So just imagine if he's playing against Jalen Ramsey, he's playing against Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, man, for goodness sake. And
Yeah, but at
yeah,
that
I
time,
know
I don't
our
think they
offensive.
had in all their linemen, even though Jermaine
Mhm.
Ifedi is the weakest link on the. At least we know now that Jermaine Ifedi is the weakest link on the lineman.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and I know like Aaron Donald, even though we faced him a couple times, even though he hasn't done much, but Aaron Donald, he's gonna be coming out for blood. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 1 or 2 sacks against Andy Dalton because Andy Dalton, he's not that much of a mobile quarterback. Even though he does have some sneaky speed, like he doesn't have that type of mobility to just you know, given his chances, yeah, he might, but I don't know about this offensive line. I'm a little shaky, and especially with Matt Nagy's play calling, I don't trust it. So that's why I have the Bears losing 28-14.
Now, I'm a little bit more in between because I do feel you on all of that because everything you mentioned is still in question because Tevin Jenkins is hurt, so he's not there. Jason Peters is an old ass man. Jermaine Ifedi still can't block no goddamn body, it seems like.
Can't even
Sam
block a
Mustard,
puppy.
right. Sam Mustard at times still getting blown up, but not as much as he was last year.
Hmm.
Cody Whitehair looked like he's still missing assignments every blue moon. And James Daniels is still, you know, officially coming back from injury that he suffered last season. I think a torn
Or
pectoral muscle,
pictorial, right?
right,
Yeah.
into his season last year.
Yeah, against the
So
Buccaneers.
right, so it's like it's a lot of things to look into. I'm thinking that Larry Borum eventually is going to wind up having to take a Fetty spot. Unless Jason Peters go down with an injury because he's 39, so he's NFL. He's pretty fucking old by that time. 17
And
year old.
he's going to take some load management too, load
Right,
management.
right. Until he get himself back in shape, that's gonna take about 3-4 weeks. And between that, he probably will wind up getting an injury, pull a hamstring or some shit like that, which will
Right,
force
because he's
Larry
older.
Bourne to have to come in, and play a substantial amount of time. So it is what it is. So I do get that. Now, me personally, I got the Bears stealing the game from the Rams simply because Matthew Stafford. I believe that he's going to be the same old Matthew Stafford no matter what plays you call for him. He gets
Hmm.
thirsty and he loves to throw the ball in coverage, especially against the Bears. Especially
Hmm.
against the Bears. He's going to throw it in coverage and he's going to throw them picks. And the Bears are going to run at least one of them back to the house, and they're going to score uh, once to get the ball back offensively on another one. And then they're going to and they're going to drive down the field 2 more times, 2 actual times. They're going to actually drive down the field, get 10 points off of that. And then, of course, the interception for a touchdown, and then another interception that's gonna cause them to get the victory. I got them winning 24-20. and that's only because Matthew Stafford is gonna fuck it up for him. He
Hope
always
you're
do
right.
that.
I hope you're
He,
right.
he, he did it against the Bears even when the Lions had like top five defense with Ndamukong Suh and everybody else, and they had a top
Calvin
five
Johnson.
offense. Right, they had everybody, and they still was fucking up. He still was costing them games then. How you gonna cost them a
Especially that
game?
that Cowboys game, that playoff game. Oh my gosh, that
Exactly.
Dallas Cowboys game, he costed them that in
That's all I'm
2016.
saying. That's all I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. He gonna still do the same old thing. What's going on, Thug Cat? What's going on with you? But that's what Stafford always been. That's how I feel about it. Now, the thing is, it could be a combination of both our prediction, and it end up being like they win 28, motherfucking
To
24,
27. Mm-hmm.
right, or some shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. Rams still win, and then we get
Do a
a small
shootout.
glimmer of hope. Right, it end up being one of them. But that's probably the best case scenario for the Bears, other than a victory. You know, they don't get smoked. They don't go straight to LA and get their ass whooped, because it seems like the NFL
No,
will not bring the Rams back to Chicago. After that whooping in 2018, they said, "Oh no,
no, they
we made
won't.
a terrible mistake putting them out there in
Right.
that cold like that. This will never happen again." And they made sure
Yeah,
of
because
it.
what the last what 2 3 meetings they it was played in or last 2 meetings was
In LA,
played in LA.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, they don't play in Chicago often.
Right. They
Even
don't
before
like
that,
Chicago, man. They
even
don't like
before that, when they were
Chicago.
still the St. Louis Rams, the Bears
Right.
still played them in St. Louis more than
Mm-hmm.
not. Like they hardly ever played them in Chicago. Like I can't
NFL hates
even.
Chicago, even
Right,
though they're the founding members,
right. I
which
swear to
is an
God,
oxymoron.
and I can't even remember a time from the time I was watching football that the Bears played the Rams in Chicago. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
damn,
Besides
I
2018,
can't.
right?
Right, I can't remember. And I've been watching NFL since like the 90s, watching
Mm-hmm.
it with my great grandfather. I cannot remember a time of that other than 2018. And NFL said never again. No sir.
Mm-hmm.
It was too damn cold. I guess for them, it wasn't that damn cold outside that day. It was actually
Right.
pretty damn warm. And they asses got smoked.
Right.
Shit. After that, after that week, since you say that's a loss, let's say they do go 1-1. How do you think the
Mm-hmm.
Bears fare against Cincinnati?
I think that's a dub.
Easy dub, or it's going to be a shootout?
Oh
Because
man. I mean,
Joe Burrow, even though he
Joe
come back
Burrow is
from
pretty good.
injury, he's
He's
still
I ain't
right.
gonna even prior to the injury, man, that dude was putting up 300 yards and a couple touchdowns. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have the Bears winning that one. I have the Bears winning that because I mean, Cincinnati's O line, man, they haven't really.
Terrible.
You're right. They haven't improved at all. Like I thought they were gonna draft an O line in the first round, but they ended up getting Jamar Chase. I'm like, I mean, I get
Who?
it. It's his old teammate, but at the same time, you got to protect your quarterback, man. And you know, Joe Burrow, he ain't all that athletic when it comes to his legs. And you already saw what happened. You know,
I thought he was.
I mean, he ain't like super athletic with his legs, but I mean, like at the same
He was
time,
just
like
athletic. Oh, okay,
he's more of like a thrower of the ball. He's not like.
okay, I get
He's
it. I
not like
get it
Justin
because
Fields or Lamar or like even Josh Allen. He's not like that
I
type
get
of
it.
player. He's
It
more like
was
a
like
thrower of the ball. Because I
it was
watched some
like
of his
Rex
games,
Grossman. It was like Rex Grossman in college.
right? Or like Brett
Remember,
Favre or something.
right, I was about to say, remember how mobile he was in college? How he was taking off and burning people, but as soon as
Right?
he got to
Yeah,
the NFL, he couldn't outrun nobody.
he couldn't
Is that what
outrun anybody to save his life.
is that what you basically describing with Joe Burrow? Basically,
Yes,
okay, he can't.
and
Okay, I get it.
even with with Joe Burrow, he was still having like a record-breaking season that season, until his he had that injury. And
He was.
yeah, he was throwing like over 300 yards like per game. Like that was just, man, Cruz straight slinging it. But I don't trust that offensive line, man. I don't trust Cincinnati's offensive line. I think the Bears defense, they're gonna feast on him. I mean, I think Andy Dalton, he's gonna have like a redemption game. What?
What you think the score gonna be?
I have him winning 24-10.
Okay, that's a decent score.
24-10. Bears.
It's not too outlandish because I ain't seeing in the comment section some Bear fans be like 210. I'd be like, what reality do these people be in? Okay, all right.
Yeah, like their own Madden reality.
Right.
Play on rookie mode. They're playing on rookie
right.
mode.
on my mama, straight rookie. And then after that, it's the Cleveland Browns. Who
Now this is where it gets interesting.
Right, because now you're predicting the Bears is 1-1 at this time. And then
it can go either way, in my opinion. It can go either way. I feel like it can go either way. I don't think the Cleveland Browns are gonna like just freaking like roll over the Bears.
I think Cleveland finally gets a win against the Bears after like I don't know how many fucking years, since like maybe 2005, probably the last time Cleveland beat Chicago. Maybe 2009, maybe somewhere around there. I just know Cleveland. Matter of fact, the whole AFC North in general have not had a good time playing against Chicago since the year.
Right, I don't think they've even had a win since 2005.
So that's why I'm like, they probably get back in the win column, and based on your predictions, they go 1-2. Now, at that time, I got them losing. I got them beating the Rams, beating Cincinnati, and then losing to Cleveland. So I got them 2-1. So it's somewhere almost parallel, just simply different in between that. Now, of course, we both got them dubbing Lions.
But I'm not going to sleep on the Lions. I won't sleep on the Lions because I made a video why people shouldn't be sleeping on the Lions.
I'm sleeping on them.
I ain't sleeping on them, bro. Like
I'm sleeping. Oh, my mama, I'm sleeping on them.
Yeah, I get it. They're definitely ain't gonna be no contenders this year. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, they had a pretty good offseason. I mean, I got to give it up to the Lions, like to freaking trade Matthew Stafford to get Jared Goff and a couple first-round picks, and to freaking shore up their defensive line. I mean, to get Levi Ozariki, a couple of their defensive tackle players, and to get that. They also drafted a middle linebacker. I've seen some of his preseason game. He looks pretty good. So I mean, everybody, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Lions ain't going to be nothing. They ain't going to do nothing." I mean,
winning 5 to 6 games, but the Bears is not either one of them. Now,
of course.
Now, Jefferson, he got them winning. What? How many?
I think he said 7 or 8.
Shit.
Jay Jefferson?
Yeah, I think he said 7 or 8, but he said he being nice.
Yeah,
I think he got him locked in at 5 too. He said I wouldn't be surprised if they win 5 games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, at most I have them winning like maybe 7, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not like all these other people that say, "Oh, the Lions just gonna just roll over," because the Lions, they always play hard, especially against the Bears. Like, I mean, I have us winning against the Lions, of course, but I think it's gonna be a close score. I think it's gonna be like maybe 25-20 or 25-17 in my book, because I mean, the Lions, every time they always play us, they play us so hard or whatever. And especially with Dan Campbell, he's like that hard-nosed coach that's going to kind of get in your face. And I don't understand why everybody's sleeping on Jared Goff. I was actually going to make a video about why Jared Goff is one of the most underrated QBs in the league. I didn't. I should make that. Stay tuned for that, guys. I'm going to make a video on that. I mean, the fact
He
that
is a two-time Pro Bowler.
he's so underrated because people also forget that, man, that game against the freaking Chiefs in 2018, people forget that was one of the highest scoring games in Monday Night Football history. Think about it, Monday Night Football history,
Yeah.
and
I,
he had a
I
couple
thought it
touch.
was the scoring, the highest scoring because I ain't never seen no game on Monday Night Football.
No, probably you might be right. You might be right.
Yeah.
But from what I heard, it was like the highest scoring Monday Night Football game in history. Maybe you might be right. But I mean, he had
Right,
like what? They had like
like
what, 52 points that game? Who
right,
was up there?
it was like 56-52 game. Who was
Yeah, it
old school
was like
PS2
56 to
Madden?
52 against the
Right,
Chiefs, right?
right.
And
It
he
was
threw,
like PS2 Madden out there,
right.
and
He had like,
you got straight 99 overall created quarterbacks with 99
yeah,
speed.
like Mutt team or whatever. Mutt.
Right. Right, it was spectacular out there. I was like, oh hell no, I
Dude,
ain't
you
never
freaking,
seen
I
this.
mean, Jared Goff looked like freaking Peyton Manning, Tom Brady out there, man. I'm like, he had like what, 4 or 5 touchdowns, one rushing, couple
Yeah,
rushing. I'm like, dang, man. And he freaking beat what's his name? He beat freaking Drew Brees at the dome. And we know how hard it is to play at the freaking dome.
yeah,
They had home field advantage in a playoff game. I'm like, come on, bro. I mean, like like Jared Goff. I mean, he's underrated. The guy is a winner. People forget that he also won a playoff game with a broken hand, with a freaking broken hand. You know how hard it is. You think their backup quarterback would have done that? Because the backup quarterback, I believe, he kind of started. I don't know if it was him or whatever, how it went down. And then Jared Goff came in, and then he won the game for that for the Rams. So I mean, to me, I thought the Lions won that trade with the Rams, and
yeah.
not
That
even
young,
I'm not even talking about the run game. Like the run game is going to be improved. I mean, DeAndre Swift, freaking Jamal, who's that other guy? Jamal Williams, who they got from the Packers.
they had
He's also a solid
oh
running back.
oh
Yeah, they got
wow.
Jamal Williams. They got
Mm.
Jamal Williams, and you're gonna and behind that offensive line, I'm not even getting started on their offensive line. They got Frank Ragnow. Who freaking, if you remember, if my
Yeah,
memory serves me correctly, he freaking pancaked Akeem Hicks, freaking
few
totaled
times.
him a few times. They got who else? Jonah Jackson, who's really good. Um, they got, of course, that rookie, Panay Sewell, who's one of the best
Right.
offensive linemen. I mean, I can go on and on, and like
And
they're
it
gonna have a
seems like
really
they definitely picked correctly picking him over Tevin Jenkins. Clearly,
yeah,
somebody knew that somebody down the line knew he was injured. Someone knew
exactly.
something. Someone knew something
Mm-hmm.
because Tevin Jenkins should have been in his spot, and
Mm-hmm.
Sewell should have been, but should have landed on the Bears. But somehow, somebody knew exactly what the hell was going on. I don't care what nobody say.
Right.
Conspiracy theory,
So
Illuminati confirmed.
right, I think everybody's just sleeping so hard on the Lions, even though the Lions they had one of the best. They're one of the better teams. They had one of the best off seasons, in my opinion. They had one of the best off seasons, in my opinion. And I mean, they're gonna. I mean, their running game definitely is gonna be solid. We know how Jared Goff works well with a good running game. He works well with RPOs, bootlegs. We know he can kind of sling the ball, but Jared Goff he works extremely well when you have a good run game, and we know that their run game is going to be really improved
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
this upcoming
Very good
season.
at play
Very
action
good.
type of quarterback.
Right, he's a play action type of quarterback. So,
Yeah,
um,
they
yeah,
still don't
guys.
have
I
no
mean, I,
receivers really to throw to. They don't have no. They have no name receivers still.
yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing that's gonna come into effect. You know,
Mhm.
this ain't 2005 no more. You can't just run the ball down everybody's throat, throw the
No,
ball
it's a high
most
flying
25
passing
times.
offense.
Right, you got to throw the ball 35, 40 times. You know,
Right.
so I don't know. It's gonna work now. It's gonna pan out for more than a few games. It's gonna pan out for about 5, 6 games, but
Hmm.
for the most part, it's not gonna
Right.
work because they don't have the
People
weapons.
are gonna game plan. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what
It's
I'm
not
looking
gonna work, and they're gonna shut it down. Yeah. I get that too. I get it. But I have the score being really close.
for. Okay, then after that game, of course, the Bears take on the Raiders in in Las Vegas. So the last couple times the Bears, of course, have not beaten the Raiders. The Raiders have been taking it to the Bears.
Mhm.
It seems like the Bears just can't get over the hump when it come down to them. Do you think
I
the
have them
Bears
winning this
finally get
game.
that? Right, I was gonna say, do you think the Bears finally get that victory, or do the Raiders just keep finding a way uh, to to beat the
No,
Bears? Okay, yeah. So
no.
how do you think? How do you believe that the Bears beat the Raiders this time in dominant fashion, close game? You know, offense take
I have
flight,
them.
defense take flight. What?
Um, I think the defense is gonna have a field day. Um, um, I don't trust. I kind of have them blowing them out this game, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to
Yeah,
like, yeah. Their offensive line is horrible. Their offensive line is not good. Even though they got Darren Waller. Darren Waller, he's a pretty good tight end. Henry Ruggs, he's a solid wide receiver. But other than those guys, besides them and like Josh Jacobs, um, I mean, I don't have the Raiders winning that game. I mean, that game, like 2 years ago in London, that was kind of an anomaly because they're traveling and like the Bears, they kind of traveled late, and so they weren't too prepared. Even though they'll tell you, "Oh, it was our fault," they weren't. I mean, they came real late, like a couple of days before the game, and so they weren't adjusted to the time and everything.
okay,
That kind of takes a toll on your body. But they're going to be
yeah,
playing in America, um, in
this
Las
time,
Vegas, I believe, right? They're playing in LA.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
LV.
So I mean, yeah, I have the Bears winning like shoot like freaking 30 to freaking 14 or something.
Damn.
Yeah,
Are you have them straight up smoking them now?
smoking
You
them,
got to
bro.
remember too, LA
Because
still do
Khalil Mack, he
have
remembers
Jordan
that.
Lawson.
Khalil Mack's
Yeah,
gonna remember that. I have Khalil Mack having like 3 sacks and like
he
um
finally breaks through because I don't think he
he
even got
breaks
any
through.
sacks. I don't know if he got any sacks against them yet.
No, because they were chip blocking them. They were like they were playing dirty, man. Their offensive line was
Yep.
kind of playing
Double,
dirty.
double and triple team them.
Right, they were
You know,
chop blocking so much.
nine times
And
out of 10, that's what's gonna happen. So
yeah, and they
that's
don't
that.
got Richie Incognito anymore. They don't got that other guy, that big dude who's like 6'8". I forgot his name. Um, what's his name? He was like this big dude. He was like 6'8", 370 pounds. He's not there no more. But they don't got those guys anymore. And their offensive line got worse. So Khalil Mack, he's gonna have a field day. I have like Mario Edwards or Travis Gibson like having like some pressures on Derek Carr. They're gonna have a field day.
Okay, I about to say I can agree with that the Bears do win, but I don't know if I say 24-14. And and it's not and it's not even really close like that. That other
Mhm.
score, they score on some humbug shit. It's really 24-7 going into the end, and then just so happen they score some bullshit touchdown and kick the extra point and make it type of shit. But then after the Bears beat the Raiders, after that, shit, we both agreed on so far almost everything other than the Rams. So that means you had the Bears starting out 1-2. They beat the Raiders. You got
Mhm.
them
I
at
have them
two
starting
and
at one
two.
and
I
two.
got right. You got them at 2-2. I got the Bears at 3-1 on the prediction scale, and then the Bears go against the Packers in Chicago. And
That's gonna be a
previously,
shootout.
if Aaron Rodgers ain't playing, the Bears got don't have it in the bag, but it's gonna be a shootout. And the Bears win it. But because Aaron Rodgers is there and now Cal Fuller is not there, I don't know how the play calling will be from Sean Desai. How
Mhm.
if it will even be improved by that time by him, or
Mhm.
or or will he have a hot start from the beginning? I got the
Mhm.
Bears losing this game. Not because Green Bay defense is real good. It's because the play calling that's not good and
Yeah.
the execution is not good, and they wind up losing this game like 35-16. And I
Mhm.
got the Bears being at 3-2 at this game. I don't know what the record you got for them, but I got the Bears after this
Um,
game being 3-2, and they losing 35-16.
I have them actually winning in a shootout. I think Justin Fields is going to come in this game at this point, and they're gonna it's gonna be a shootout with the Green Bay Packers because we know what Aaron Rodgers can do. We know
Yeah,
what he's about.
we definitely do.
And then you got Aaron Jones. They just re-signed him. Aaron Jones. He's gonna have like maybe a couple, maybe one or two touchdowns. And Devontae Adams, he's one of the best wide receivers out there in the right now. I mean, you could say he's the best wide receiver out there right now. Um, but uh, I think the Bears, like, they're gonna make some key stops towards the end of the game. Like, and I mean, Justin Fields, he's gonna come in this game and he's gonna prove a point. That hey, like, man, I don't like the Packers. I'm a full fledged Bear because like in one of those practices, I think was it John D. Filippo. He was asking him a question like, "Hey, one of your players or one of your old teammates, got drafted," and then Justin Fields like asked him like, "Yeah, unfortunately to the Packers," and so
Right.
Justin Fields, he's
That's how
already
he's supposed.
familiar. He's already familiar with the rivalry, and he already knows how much the Bears fans, how much we do not like the Green Bay Packers, and how much hell we've been going through for like the past 10 years with Aaron Rodgers, 12 years, how he is 20-5 against us, which is absurd, which is crazy. Yeah, he's 20
Yeah,
and 5 against us.
be
And
smoking our ass, straight smoking.
exactly, yeah, straight smoking us. Straight smoking us with no fire.
Straight
But
up.
yeah, he's gonna come in and like Justin Fields, like he's gonna go down in the field. It's gonna be like what 28 to 27 Packers. He's gonna go down the field. He's gonna make a timely pass towards like Allen Robinson. He's gonna run out of bounds, and then Cairo Santos. He's gonna hit the game-winning field goal to beat the Packers 30 to what 28. 30 to
Mm,
28.
that sounds like some. I don't know. It
It's gonna
can't
be
happen.
close.
It can't happen. I don't know because the Bears have had some close games with them where the Bears is able to pull it off at the end. So, and of course, with Kyle Santo being at the helm, being the kicker, that can definitely happen. That man, I think he can kick like a 58 yarder if he needed to.
I
But
swear.
but after that, the Bears take on the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay this time.
I
Uh, I
have.
got I got Tampa Bay. I got Tampa Bay smoking our ass. Like I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna be like, oh, the Bears could possibly. No, not this one. Not this one. I think
Mhm.
it's gonna be a revenge game for Tom Brady. I
Oh
believe
yeah.
that. I believe that defense come to play a lot harder. I don't even think Justin Fields is gonna come in yet. I'm looking at the schedule now. I don't think Justin Fields if he don't come in against the Lions the first time, he ain't gonna
Hmm.
play until they go against the Lions the second time. And that's
Hmm.
when he'll probably hop in on the schedule after that, and then play the remaining games after that because that's when the defenses start to taper off a little bit.
Hmm.
That's my prediction that Andy Dalton is going to probably end up starting 8 to 10 games. I say maybe 9 at the most, and Justin Fields may start the other 8 to 9, somewhere between them. But yeah,
Yeah, I got Tampa Bay. I got Tampa Bay smoking us.
right. Like I'm not even
45 to 20.
that could. Hey man, that should sound realistic as hell. You know, I say this
But
at
then
least we
again, we
get.
could be wrong because last year I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to smoke us.
I didn't. Last year I
Oh, you
predicted the
didn't?
Bears. No, I predicted the Bears to beat Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't predict
I
that. I thought
believe
they were going to. I thought Tom Brady was going to smoke us like he always does.
mm-mm. I believe that the Bears was going to get their victory over Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. You know, I even predicted the Bears. See, I predicted the Bears to finish the first 5 games. I mean, the first 6 games, 5-1, and then I
Hmm.
predicted that they was going to struggle at one point, but I thought they was going to wind up finish the season 10-6 because I thought they was going to sweep the Lions and sweep the
Hmm.
Vikings and then lose both times to the Packers, and then the rest of the schedule went almost exactly the way I said it was going to go.
Right.
But I said, exactly, I mainly thought they should have swept the Vikings, but of course, the play caller and it was Nick Foles, and then Jermaine
Hmm.
Ifedi again not blocking, and then of course Trubisky got stripped. Right, and then Lions won that one.
Right,
The Bears,
Romeo Aquara. Yeah, we all remember that.
right, so they finished 8-8 instead of 10-6. So that's how I'm like, it is what it is when it come down to that. But that's what I think will happen with that. But yeah, we both got the Buccaneers killing the
Smoking
Bears.
our ass.
So, so, so far, based on both our records, we
I
both
think
it'll be
I think
what
that
three
game is
three.
going to be not Ryan, Justin Fields' welcome to the NFL moment.
Damn, you think the Bears will really put him in there against the Buccaneers?
Yeah, that's gonna be his welcome to the NFL moment. Oh, you thought
Wow.
the game was slow? Okay, we got some for you. Bam! Freaking Levante Davis gonna sack his
Matt
ass.
Matt Nagy will be drilled for the whole year. I don't care if Justin Fields take us to the playoffs. He gonna get drilled the whole year for even
Mhm.
putting that boy in that situation. Like you see how that pass rushers beating your blockers, and you gonna throw that kid up in there. You want him to
Mhm.
get hurt. Hey, it's all your fault. Boy, he might be
Oh,
fired
boy.
before he might be fired before the next game.
Hey, anything can happen, man.
Because it's gonna be too rough.
Again, I
Because
hope it
after
doesn't happen, but hey,
because
man.
right after
I mean,
that game,
If Tom Brady doesn't, if Father Time doesn't creep up on Tom Brady, I mean, I have the Bears, getting, curb stomped
mm,
by Tampa Bay.
yeah, last year his all
They
timers kicked
completely
in.
embarrassed him last year.
Right, his all timers kicked in. He was like four.
Hmm.
It was over. So he gonna
Yeah,
make
man, he
sure
was a
he
freaking
gonna take
meme.
his
Like,
medication. He gonna take his
yeah,
medication and make sure he get it right.
we
So
made Tom Brady a damn meme. That's how embarrassing that loss was for them. So you think he ain't gonna remember that? Oh, he's gonna remember that.
right, he gonna take it straight to the Bears, and then right after the Bears, of course, go through that misery. The Bears take on the 49ers in Chicago. Now, I got the Bears winning that game too. The Bears been beating the 49ers constantly since 2015. The last time I think they had either Barkley or I can't remember who it was, or what was that bum
Matt
name?
Barkley or
He was a top draft pick for the Panthers before Cam Newton. He used to play for Notre Dame.
oh shoot.
Jimmy
Jimmy
Clausen.
Clausen, yeah, Clausen. Yep, Jimmy
Yeah,
Clausen. Yep.
he was there too. That's the last time the 49ers I think beat the Bears. And
Yeah.
even though the 49ers they're gonna be 100% healthy this year on defense, I think it's going to be a matchup of defenses and which offense make the least amount of mistakes. And I believe that because they do have Jimmy Garoppolo, even though he is not as bad as people say, I can't believe how people just flipped on that man like that.
It's just
You
his
know,
injuries. That's his problem. He can't stay healthy. That's his problem.
right? But I think he makes those some of those mistakes that people be clamoring about. He makes those mistakes, and the Bears steal a victory against the 49ers in Chicago. They get the victory against them. That's my prediction. What's yours?
Yeah, I have the Bears winning too. Um, it's gonna be between Justin Fields and Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is gonna be starting that game, and I feel like Justin Fields is gonna give it to the San Francisco 49ers for passing up on him. We know he has a personal vendetta because, he's supposed to be one of the top draft picks in the NFL. But the fact that he fell all the way to 11, he's going to have something approved in this game. So he's gonna give it to the defense. Like he's gonna give it to San Francisco defense. He's gonna make Kyle Shanahan regret that, you shouldn't have passed up on him. So I mean, I have the Bears winning game like 25-21.
Okay, well my prediction score. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. 20,
25-21.
yeah, mine's would be 24-21, somewhere around there. And then right after the Bears take them on, the Bears play the Steelers, the Ravens, and then back to the Lions. I got the Bears losing to the Steelers. The Ben
I got them
Roethlisberger
winning.
finally get. I got Ben Roethlisberger finally getting his. I'm basing everything off my old prediction video.
Oh, okay.
That I had the Steelers beating the Bears and Ben Roethlisberger finally getting his second career victory against the Bears after having his first victory with Jerome Bettis running over Urlacher in '05. Ever since then, the Steelers been getting their ass smoked by the Bears, and it didn't matter
Mhm.
if they had Antonio Brown, Mike Wallace. It didn't matter how good the offense was, how good their defense was. It didn't matter if they had Troy Polamalu on the squad. They just
A Hall
couldn't.
of Fame with
They
that.
right. They just couldn't get it done. The Bears have always just had a number, but I think their number runs out in this year's game, and the Bears lose to the Steelers, and I believe the Steelers put a whooping on the Bears in this game. I believe they win like 35-20 against the Bears.
Damn. I actually have the opposite. I have the Bears winning because I said Ben Wallace. I'm thinking of basketball. Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, like I mean, even last year, like even toward the end of the season, like he hasn't looked good. Like he's been like a former shell of himself. Um, like he's been dealing like with a lot of injuries, and you could tell, by the way he moves, like when he throws the ball, it doesn't have too much zip to it or whatever. Even though he has some good playmakers, I mean their offensive line is not all that great, and we know the Bears defense is going to get to him early and often. And I even have him throwing a couple picks in this game because I mean the offensive line is not going to be good, is not good. The defensive line is pretty good. T.J. Watt, he's pretty good. I don't know if Bud Dupree's on that team anymore, but they got a
Me
couple
neither.
playmakers on defense. Micah, I think Micah, what's his name? Micah,
Micah
the dude
Hyde.
they did. Yeah, I think Micah Hyde. Is he on the team? Micah Hyde? No, I'm not
Shit, I
him.
couldn't say.
No, I forgot his name, but he's a secondary who they got from. They traded him last year or something, but he's pretty good. They got a couple playmakers on defense, and I think it's going to be like a slugfest. Well, I wouldn't say slugfest, but it's going to be closer than what people think. I have the Bears winning like maybe 13-10. That's how close it's going to be.
and low scoring
A,
game.
a defensive slugfest.
And then after that, the Bears take on the Ravens, which I got the Bears losing to the Ravens too. I believe that this game is going to start off close between the Bears and the Ravens. I believe neither defense is going to be able to do anything in
Mhm.
this game. It's going to be one of those games where it look like Madden, where Lamar Jackson look like his Madden self, where you can't stop the run. Andy
Throw
Dalton
it,
is
yeah.
going to look like somebody, a Madden expert could controlling him making all the plays. He's going to be making all the best throws and everything of his career. And it's gonna
Hmm.
start off well. Like they gonna be tied at halftime, 21-21. Going to the fourth quarter, they're gonna be 28-28. And then just like that, the Ravens defense start playing defense. And they cause a turnover. And then the Ravens take over, score. They get a turnover on downs. After that, Ravens score again, and they finish the game 42-28 against the Bears.
I agree with that. I have them winning like 35-28. I mean,
See,
like you said, like it's gonna be a close, but the Ravens defense is gonna like clamp down, and I feel like Lamar Jackson is gonna score at the last minute, and then they're gonna win. Ravens
yeah,
winning it.
that's exactly how I got it. I'm looking at it and I'm being realistic with everything on here. That's why I'm not playing no games. Ain't no faking no
Hmm.
funk. I'm calling it like it is now. The Bears
Hmm.
play Detroit in Detroit. And now I had the Bears smoking Detroit in Chicago. This is gonna be a close game like it always be in Detroit. It's maybe every blue moon I see the Bears beat the hell out of Detroit in Detroit, but it's always be like but it's usually a 19-13 game,
Hmm.
24-20 game, 27-24 game. It's never a large distance in between the Bears and Detroit when they play in Detroit. It don't matter which quarterback has been throughout history. It didn't even matter when it was Joey Harrington. All of a sudden, everyone playing super hard. So
Hmm.
I still got the Bears winning it, but I got it like a typical score, like Bears win. Like it's gonna be a high scoring game in this one. I believe that Jared Goff is gonna come to play in this one. He gonna look real good and he gonna throw 4 touchdowns. But the Bears uh, kick a last second field goal at the end of the game with Carlos Santos, like a 42 yarder, and end the game. And that's how the Bears win that one. I got the Bears taking
I
that
have
one.
I have the Bears smoking the lines 34-17. Jared Goff,
Mm,
Jared Goff, um, he throws a pick six to Eddie Jackson. He takes it to the house. Um, I see a big game for Mario Edwards. Mario Edwards has like 2.5 sacks, and like I have like Eddie Goldman, either Eddie Goldman or Bilal Nichols. They have a couple sacks, so Jared Goff's gonna get sacked like 4 times.
damn.
Um,
So you think his offensive line is just going to flat out collapse against the Bears?
yeah, yeah. I have them winning 34-17.
Okay.
Like, yeah, yeah. Justin Fields, he's gonna go off. He's gonna have like maybe 3 touchdowns and like throw for over 300 yards.
Okay. Okay. And then after the Bears take them on, they play the Arizona Cardinals in Chicago. Man, it's been a
Hmm.
while since I've seen Arizona. I think it's been what 2018. What was that 2018? The Bears? No, I think the Bears was in
Well, they played in
Arizona in
Arizona.
2018. Right. So it's been a little while since I've seen Arizona and Chicago. So this is going to be
Right.
a real special affair. I got the Bears going against them and winning like a odd score, like 26 to 21 against them. I believe that Calamari comes in and play well early, and I believe most of the damage is done in the first half. I believe that they put up
Mhm.
what 14 of they 21 points in the first half. The seven
Right.
come late in the third quarter, early in the fourth. But I believe that the Bears clamped down on him, shut him down. he can't get the ball to Hopkins. I don't even know if Larry Fitzgerald is still even there. I know they got AJ Green there.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's
So
there right
okay, so they got they got both of those players there, but I still believe that the Bears will be able to clamp down. That'd be one of the few games that they cornerbacks show up and come to play real good at, and that allowed they front seven just to dig in a little bit deeper and get to the quarterback and shut down Kyler Murray. And the Bears win the game 26-21.
now. Yeah, I pretty much have the Bears winning this game. I think it's gonna be like Kyler Murray. He's gonna start off hot, but the Bears are kind of pick up on it and see like what kind of game plan that Cliff Kingsbury is running with Kyler Murray. And we know Kyler Murray with his size, he's not all that big, whatever. So even though he's fast, like the guy's just dangerously fast. Like I mean, like the Bears, they're gonna pick up on it, and I have them winning like maybe 24-17 because I do agree. Like Kyler Murray, he's gonna do well in the first half, but the second half he's gonna be like non-existent.
He gonna start getting hit a little bit more, and that's what's gonna
Yeah,
slow him down a little bit.
gonna
Once
slow
he
him down a
starts
little
slowing,
bit.
once he slow down, it's gonna be on and popping for him.
Hmm.
And then it's gonna be a Bears victory. After the Bears take on the Cardinals, and we both, of course, got the same identical victory. The Bears once again take on Green Bay, and this time it's in Green Bay. And
I
I
have them
got the
losing.
Bears. Right, exactly. Bears lose to Green Bay again. We both got Green Bay uh, whooping the
Smoking
Bears
our
ass again.
ass.
Right. I'm about to say it's hard as hard as it is to admit the Bears will get their ass smoked by Green Bay yet again. It's and it's still gonna be a close game. It's gonna be close
Yeah,
like it always
it's gonna
be
be
in
a close
Green Bay.
game. I haven't been a close game.
Right, the Bears play Green Bay tough in Green Bay, but they don't play them tough in Chicago all the time. Green
Hmm.
Bay is when the Bears usually try to play them at their best. I guess they try to spoil it in Green Bay, but this game's is always gonna spread out toward the end in the fourth quarter. But this game is gonna be a lot closer than it was and than it was throughout most of the game, much like it was in Green Bay before. No. When they played in Chicago last year, even though Green Bay won 35-16, everyone knows that that game
It was a
was a
close
one
game. Yeah.
right. It was a one possession away. It'd be something like that, like they win 28-16, but that game was a lot closer at first. At one point, it was like 21-16, and the Bears just couldn't convert on a 4th and 1 or something like that, and Green Bay
Because of
couldn't
Matt
do it.
Nagy's dumbass play calling.
Right, his ass want to run a fucking run play out of the shotgun.
Right. A freaking
It's
run
goofy.
play. Why would you
Right,
run a run play out of the shotgun when you can just use David Montgomery? Just shoot up the middle. Do like a whole max protect, and you can use David Montgomery who could just freaking beat out blockers. I don't get that.
I don't know, man. He's very incompetent. That's all I can
And
say
and the
about it.
fact and you know the fact that he says, "Oh, I'm going to allow David Montgomery to get 20 plus carries." I mean, I don't really believe him because he said
Hell
that
no.
Cole Kmet last year was going to get more playing time. Cole Kmet didn't get that much playing time.
All the way until Bill Lazor got him involved. That's when his
Right.
playing time got up
Started
more.
increasing.
That's when he started catching more. Well, he caught another touchdown, but he got a lot
Matt
more
Nagy's just a
catches and
lot of
everything,
all
yards.
this.
Yeah, yeah. Shoe
Where's
salesman.
your action? Where's the action behind it?
Shoe salesman. That's his action behind it.
Right.
Plain and simple, shoe salesman.
He's a political man. He's a political man. He's trying to politics.
I guess he ain't no good. He okay.
Mm-mm.
I say this. He could possibly be okay. I said it before. He could possibly be okay as a head coach. He's just a terrible ass play caller, and he should leave that up to the offensive coordinator because he is not an offensive coordinator. He sucks as an offensive coordinator, point blank, period. And I believe that we're gonna get a lot of misery of that this season. We're gonna get some good playing because of the
Hmm.
talent that we do have on the squad. It's just some of the play callers gonna be asinine, and we definitely gonna go through it, and we're gonna see that bullshit. But after that, the Bears take on the Vikings for the first time of the season, and the Bears will be in Chicago. And because the Vikings always seems to be inconsistent as hell, they can never be consistent whatsoever. I believe that the Bears is gonna take it to their ass in Chicago
I
in
have
this
them
game.
actually sweeping them in this series, sweeping them.
You got them beating them both times.
Yeah, I don't
I
trust
got the
Minnesota.
I got the Bears winning in Chicago. Well, matter of fact, we'll get to it. But matter of fact, I got the Bears actually dominating this game in Chicago. I got the Bears winning 31-17 in this game. And I believe that by this time, Justin Fields should be in the game and he should be in play at least 2 or 3 games at least by this time. And he get even more used to the NFL speed more than he did in the preseason. And he makes a lot of excellent plays. And I believe that the defense come to play. Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, you know. It,
And we always shut down Dalvin Cook.
absolutely. Other than one game, we absolutely have shut down Dalvin Cook. And I believe all that comes into play, and the Bears do indeed win that game. Like I said before, 31-17.
Right.
What was your score? What would your score be actually for both games?
I have the Bears winning 28-14 for this game. I'll give them my second prediction afterwards.
Okay. And then after the Bears play them, they play the Seattle Seahawks this time in Seattle. Now the last few times the Bears have played Seattle, Seattle has been in Chicago, and the Bears have gotten a victory. I got the Bears still winning this game against Seattle. I got them still in this game in Seattle against the 12th man at Loud Air Stadium and all the above. And I believe that they quiet that crowd. And I believe that the Bears steal this victory against them on some humbug shit like 31-29.
I have them losing against the Seahawks. I have them losing because, um, of course, Russell Wilson, with all the talk with him, coming to the Bears, and we
He's
already know
still
they're going to be, and we already know that's going to kind of be the talk of the town in Seattle, and everybody's going to be hearing about like, oh, you almost got traded to the Bears, and he's going to shut up all the haters like I shouldn't have been traded, or not, what am I saying? He's going to shut up all the haters, saying that I belong in Seattle, whatever, and that's just all small talk. And I have them beating the Bears 28-24, 28-20, no, 27-24.
the only reason, well, yeah, the only reason why I don't believe Seattle was going to beat the Bears because the Bears always match up against them defensively when
Mm-hmm.
they offense is out there, and Seattle really ain't got a really good defense at all. They haven't had a good defense since the Legion of Boom, and
Mm.
they was at one point like the 32nd ranked defense all the way into damn near the end. They not they not a good defense at all. So I believe that the Bears can actually throw the football on that defense and be able to make a lot of plays down the field, which will definitely open up a lot of holes. Will open up a lot of holes for them in a running game. So I definitely believe that that can happen with ease. So that's why I got that like it is. But it is what it is on that one. What is your overall record for the Bears at that time? Mine's right now is 9-7. No,
Nine and
nine and
seven.
six.
So
9-6
9-6.
right
So I have
now.
the Bears losing to. I have them winning. No, losing against the Rams. I have them winning against Cincinnati. I have them losing against Cleveland. I'm having winning them. I have them. Okay, I have them losing against Green Bay. I have them losing against Tampa Bay. Um, what else?
I'm gonna go through the schedule. Rams,
Yeah,
Bengals, Browns. So that's 1 and 2. Lions, you
that's
said
one
that's a
and two.
victory. That's 2 and 2. You said they beat the Raiders, right?
Yeah, I haven't beaten the Raiders.
That's 3 and 2. You said they beat the Packers in Chicago.
Yes.
So that's 4 and 2. Then you
Hmm.
say they get smoked by the Bucks.
Yeah, I get smoked 45-20.
Right, that's 4 and 3. Against the 49ers, you said that's a victory or a loss.
Five. That's a win. 5-3.
Okay, 5 and 3. And then they play against the Steelers. You said they beat the Steelers.
Yeah, 6-3. Right.
And then the Ravens, you said that's a
That's an
loss.
L. That's an L.
Six
Six and
and
four.
four. You said they beat the Lions.
Yeah, 7-4.
Right. And then the Cardinals.
They win.
Then the Packers again in Green Bay.
Take an L. Was it eight
And
and
then
five or 7-5?
that make them at this point, let me see. I think they'd be 8 and 5.
8-5.
Yeah, eight and
And then,
five at that time.
and then I have them losing against the Seattle or winning against Minnesota, right?
Yeah,
So
Minnesota.
it's like 9-6, right?
9 and 5.
Or 9-5. Okay, yeah, 9-5.
Right. And then you got them lose against Seattle, so that's 9 and 6.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay,
nine
so
six,
so we both
nine and
got them at
six.
9 and 6. So we still got identical records in 9 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
I got them beating the Giants,
Mm-hmm.
and I got them beating the Giants in Chicago. I got them beating them again. Well, just to be funny, I say Saquon Barkley gonna get hurt again. Just a stab at Giants Nation one more time, but
Yeah, he's gonna
yeah,
be hurt. Saquon Barkley's gonna be hurt.
yeah, I'm about to say shit. Yeah, Saquon gets shut down in that game, and the Bears win that game, and then they move on to play the Vikings in Minnesota, and then lose that game and finish the season 10-7.
I
But
have
you
him
said
winning.
you got them winning both games.
Yeah, winning both games. But this one is gonna be close. Because I don't think the Bears are gonna have much of their starters are gonna be resting, and like the Bears are gonna have I think Justin Fields is gonna be playing, but he's gonna be playing with like a little. He's gonna be playing the first half. I have Justin Fields playing the first half. Then he's gonna leave. Prepare for the playoffs. But I think at this point, Minnesota is gonna be out of the playoffs. So um, he's gonna be lighting up the second and third stringers, and then the second half they're gonna come in and it's gonna be like kind of a closer game. So I'm gonna have them like
So
winning
what
like
you
maybe.
so
Huh?
what you think? So what you think Minnesota overall record gonna be like 7-10?
They're gonna be like 8 and 9 or something. 9 and 8.
If if they 9-8 and the Bears is 10-6 at that time, I
I
think the
got them
Bears can
11-6. I got them at 11-6.
or 11 and
Bears.
6. Well, so that means they're gonna lose to Minnesota if they're not gonna play the starters.
Well, I mean, I do have Justin Fields lining up in the first half, but it's gonna be like a closer game. They're gonna win probably like maybe like 20-16 or like
And
19.
you think the Bears bench players is gonna be able to stop Kirk Cousins
No,
and
Kirk Cousins ain't gonna be playing. They're gonna be playing the second stringers. Everybody, both sides.
I don't know about all that. I don't know if Minnesota is just gonna cave in like that. Like they just go
Mike
phone it
Zimmer's gonna be
in.
like, all right, Kirk Cousins, your ass is out. I'll play the second.
Like they just gonna phone it in like that. Like you know what?
Yeah.
We ain't get in the playoffs. They
He's
getting
gonna
into
be
the
like Dennis
playoffs.
Green. He's gonna be like Dennis Green. The Bears are who we thought they were.
And I guarantee they gonna try to mess up the Bears seeding. Like if the Bears is in in the fourth seed, they at least get the first game of the playoffs at
Mm-hmm.
home. They're gonna try to play their starters just so then they can try to get the Bears to be the fifth or sixth seed. So then not at
Right.
home, fucked up. So man, I
I
guarantee the
mean,
Bears find.
I have them going. I'm gonna be this. I have them going either way, win or loss. You know, but I mean, I mainly have them winning because I don't. I mean, freaking Bears have always owned Minnesota.
Yeah,
That's 2 3
Mitchell
years.
Trubisky was like 10-1 against both of them.
Right.
So, and the only loss he had was against
The
the
line.
Lions. Right. Period. So yeah, the Bears have always
And we know Justin Fields is way better athlete, especially mentally than Trubisky.
I don't know, man. Trubisky was pretty tough mentally. You know that shit he
I
dealt
mean,
with.
he was good, but
That
Justin
shit he
Fields,
dealt
he's
with
way
here.
more faster. And
You
he's
know,
I gotta see NFL speed. I gotta see him. I gotta see. We'll wait and see. We'll
right?
wait
How
and see.
about say because Trubisky was one of the toughest quarterbacks out there. Well, mentally, I'm not gonna say physically, mentally, because that man was getting hounded for 4 years straight.
But at the
He was
same time, he couldn't
broken.
even handle it. He couldn't handle the pressure. Like, I mean, I would even see him in some games where he would just be panicking, and like he wouldn't be like. At times, at certain games, he would show flashes. But if he played like some like the stiffer competition, like the Packers or the Saints, you see how like you see how shook he was. I mean, you know this, Jonah Pitney. Come on, bro, you know this, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say I watched the games. I seen the mistakes. I
Watch the
seen the
game. You saw
positive
how
things
shook he
that he
was,
did.
especially against Atlanta. You saw how shook he was.
He didn't look shook. It was just a bad fucking decision. Terrible decision. He wasn't shook. He
He
was
made
ready to
he
get
made
back
he
in the
made
game.
some untimely call. Like he overthrew Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller was way wide open. It
Yeah,
is what it is, though.
you could say. I'm about to say you could say the same thing even with Nick Foles when he overthrew Darnell Mooney. You know, it's
Man,
just
Nick Foles, he's slow as molasses.
slow like a 95-year-old man in a wheelchair. They got they got partial paralysis in both hands, so he
Hell
can't
yeah.
move his own wheelchair. Paralyzed from the waist down, and and got thyroids. All that. Two
Right.
comments. Let's see. Yo, what's going on, Jake? How you feeling? What up? What up? What up?
What up, Bullet Jake? What's going on, my man? Yeah,
How
but
you feeling? Shit. You
yeah, but
usually in
yeah,
here
man.
early. You was
Is
in
there
here
anything
early,
else you
Jake.
want to say before we end the stream, man? Because I got some stuff I got to do later on.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna Kofi. I'm gonna start doing the sports hangouts probably
Mm-hmm.
next Wednesday. So it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
like you can hop in at any given time, man. I'm gonna do a sports hangout. Most likely, it's gonna be, of course, me, CO, Top Dog, Giants Nation, CG might hop in.
Oh,
A
okay.
few guys might hop in.
Butters.
Right, Butters.
He was
Matter of fact,
making fun of you on Madden too, right? If I'm mistaken.
yeah.
He's saying you sucked.
Well, I was like, hold on, Butters. I wanted to go in on him, but I was like, I'm trying to concentrate on the game. I'm like, Butters, then you get smoked like
Right.
85-0. I lost
Right.
13. I kept the game within
Well,
reasonable 13. Dude could barely do anything. I just was fucking up on
right.
picks. Matter of fact,
Right.
since then, I wish I would have recorded then. Since then, I think
Mm-hmm.
my overall record was 284 and 248. Now it's 293 and 250. So I've been smoking them since then. I was just getting irritated with
You're
with
top
them.
1% player.
Right, right. I'm top 1.1%. I'm playing people that's in the top 0.5%
Mm-hmm.
right now. So I'm like, I guess I'm like, Butters, your ass be playing people that's
Who
unranked.
gets smoked?
I'm like, I guess, but it is what it is. But
Mhm.
shit, yeah, I'm gonna be doing a sports hangout. I'm gonna try to do that every Wednesday of this season, and probably
Mhm.
do it after the season after that, and then try to do at least 2 or 3 videos in between. Even try to fit
Mhm.
in the Jonah Pipney podcast as well. And of course, everyone should continue to tune
And the
into the
main
main
event.
event podcast. Hell
Mhm.
yeah, and
Mhm.
tune in to KO Sports Talk, Kofi O'Hemmings page. Matter of fact, I wish you had a direct link so then you could leave a link in your page.
Oh,
Leave it
my
in the
bad.
comment.
Hey, guys, go and check out my YouTube page, KO Sports Talk, where I talk a lot of not only Bears but a lot of Chicago sports content. You know, we talk Bulls, we talk Cubs, sometimes White Sox, but mainly we talk about Chicago sports content. But check out my channel,
Absolutely.
KO Sports Talk, for real.
Hell yeah. So just make sure you, of course, you tune in to the Jonah Pipney podcast, the main event podcast, Jonah, the Jonah Pipney sports reactions. Just tune in to everything. And once again, I will be doing
And
Wednesday
share
night
this with your
hangout.
friends and get them likes up, man. Get them likes up because once you guys get those likes up, it increases our YouTube algorithm and it exposes us to more people to come and look at our channel. So get those likes up. Get them likes up, guys.
Yeah,
For real.
also
Helps us
and
out.
also pretty soon too. Me and Kofi working on this. I'm gonna try to put some things together so that we can actually take the main event podcast itself and have it be its own separate entity, so that we don't have to
Mhm.
flip flop from each other pages. It'll be
Right.
just one page that we both can sign into, and then boom,
Mhm.
just do every podcast off of that. Of course, we're gonna grab every
Exactly.
podcast we already done. We're gonna put it in there, and then every podcast is brand new. We're just gonna have it go from there, and then have everybody be able to join in. And then in between that, Kofi, since we're gonna have it be its own entity, we probably have to spread it from just not only being Bears football, but talking about all NFL teams. And if we talk
Oh yeah.
about the NBA instead of just the Bulls, talk about all NBA teams, what's been going on in the news, and just spread
Hmm.
it that way. So then we can spread it to an even broader audience and everyone to be kicking in,
Oh yeah.
be stepping into it. And then when we put our individual pages down, everybody else can hop on there and still be flip flopping in between all the pages like that. That's how we can do it. But
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get some ideas together exactly how we're
Right.
gonna do it. But the moment I do figure it out, man, you already
Shoot, hell,
know.
we might
Like
talk about boxing too.
right, everything. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
We're gonna bring everything up. Like that's what the main event
Mhm.
podcast gonna be about.
Right.
So right now it's of course it's still in its early stages. We still flip flopping a little bit, but we definitely finding our feet. So
Hmm.
it is what it is. Eventually, especially if Jake wanted to hop in, we can always try to have guest
Right.
appearances at all times. Like that's one thing that we always try to let people know. Like if you do want to be a guest on the show, just all you have to do is just say that you want to be a guest on the show, write it in the comment section, and then I just do an example right now. And then Kofi, you let me know if you
Hmm.
see it. So I just
Well, either
copy it
that,
right now.
or you could like private message one of us like ahead of time.
Yeah,
So yeah, like
we can
like if you do want to come in, because we don't want to just like kind of let somebody in while we're in the middle of it
anybody.
because well yeah that but like you could do that, or you could like private message me or Jonah Pitney, and like we could just like let you in, because same time you also want to do it like kind of professional. I mean, it is kind of YouTube, but you know how like some other podcasts, um, like I've been on other podcasts, like the tape never lies, like how they kind of bring somebody on, or like they
Yeah, they
do it
got a
like kind of
time.
ahead of time.
Right. They already got a time slot specifically
Right.
for that
Exactly.
person
Time.
to come in, and then they got a time
Exactly.
slot for that person to leave. Yeah, I already know. So yeah, we go ahead and try to set that up with people.
Hmm.
Well, matter of fact, I talk to Butters and see if he want to hop on, talk to CEO, talk to all those guys,
Right,
and see if they
right.
want to be guests on the main event podcast. And then we'll just tell them like, hey man, if you tune in, you come in at a certain time slot, you come in, you
Hmm.
start talking. But we debate all football, and then
Right.
after a certain time period, after maybe 20, 20, 30 minutes, you hop on
Hmm.
up out of that. That's it.
Right. Or like after we're done with our topics, because we go like by certain topics what we want to talk about.
Right. Yeah, and try to make it
Mhm.
make it. I know what you're talking about. Make it a little bit more professional, like ESPN, FS, Fox
Yeah,
Sports One.
exactly. Exactly. Because it also helps with the subscriber counts. A lot of people like to see things kind of like in order.
Right. Matter of fact, since some of the people that we do know
Hmm.
are 49er fans,
Hmm. Giants
Ravens
fans.
fans, Giants fans, all of that. We can start having those type of guys be on there when we
Hmm.
play their teams. We're gonna try to get in contact with Jay Jefferson if possible, and see if he'll
Hmm.
be a guest on the main event podcast.
Hmm.
Uh,
CEO with his Ravens, Giants
right,
Nation with his Giants.
right. Try to put everybody on board so that if even and then hopefully they show their face. Try to encourage everybody to show their face so that everybody can see everybody talking right there and that and talk about their teams. You know,
Right.
if anybody can just do this, anybody can do that and talk.
Right.
You know, but it's all about trying to be real. And try to expand it. But yeah, I feel you on that, man. But
Hmm.
But let me know, man. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure right now you still got some things you got to do. So I ain't gonna
Hmm.
hold you up too much. But all right, people. Once again, this is John O'Pipney, and this is also KO Sports Talk. Kofi O'Hemming bringing it to you with the Main Event Podcast yet again. All right, people. Peace out.